What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Brian's Random Thoughts. Today, not such a happy thought. So, today we're going to look at an issue that I have come across over the last few days, and this is the other Texas shooting. A little piece of information that seems to have fallen through the cracks that I thought I might bring to your attention. Now, I do want to start this off by saying this is live. So, this could go sideways real fast. I am not here. I do not have an axe to grind. I don't have a political party to support. I'm a libertarian. So I don't have a political party to support because we're never getting in office. But, and I am not here to throw stones at anyone. I am literally just going to show you how this event, which has kind of like fallen by the wayside, has not really been picked up by mainstream media, especially if you only view your news. If you only view your news, you're not likely to have come across this. So what we'll do is I'm going to actually jump over to an internet search, and we are going to go through a few of the major news agencies and see if we can find any kind of variation in how this story is being reported. And the reason why I think this is a good story to go with is because, one, a lot of people don't know about it. And I think it would be a good way to not only bring that to people's knowledge because it has a good ending, but also kind of show that, yeah, there is definitely a pattern that can be established by their own words. I do not put words in people's mouths. In my court of public opinion, you are judged by your words and you are judged by your deeds. And so we go to the words. So let me jump over here to this screen, and this, you'll see here, this is from, in full disclosure, this is a DuckDuckGo search. This is not a Google search, but I would assume that you would get the same results. So we have an event here, which is the Texas summer camp shooting. So we're going to go right to CNN. And so what we have here, and again, if you don't know the story, we're going to go through here, and I'm just going to go ahead and read a bit of the CNN story to let you get an idea of what's going on. So this says, again, this is from CNN, and it says, a man who fired his weapon into a room, where children were attending a summer camp just outside of Dallas was shot and killed by police this is Monday the 13th. Of June in 2022, according to authorities. Duncanville Police Department identified the gunman as Brandon Keith Ned, my middle name's also Keith, 42 of Dallas. Further information about the suspect will not be released due to ongoing investigation, a news release from the DPD said. So here, and this is a spectacular, hats off to the boys in blue. The police arrived at the Duncanville Field House, a indoor facility, approximately 2 minutes after receiving an emergency call. A police news release said, and from everything I have read, that number is consistent through every news agencies. Officers quickly located and exchanged gunfire with a man armed with a handgun. The suspect was wounded during the exchange, the department said. The man was transported to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead, police said, and no children, staff, or officers were harmed in the incident. And I'm like, how can you not cheer that? How is that not the greatest news that we have heard, especially with all things considered? So we see this on CNN. Now, here's the interesting thing is on the 14th, you would have been hard-pressed to find a single news report on this story. This happened on the 13th, but the majority of these stories are actually from the 15th, and they put out a very small amount of information at the time through the majority of these news agencies. So let's go down here to the New York Post, and the New York Post, which is very good at headlines, Texas cop kills gunman who fired at children's summer camp. So we go to their page. This will load up. Hopefully we'll load up fairly quick. But what I'm going to do with the New York Post, again, major periodical, we're going to go through and see what kind of photo representation they have because, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So and you'll see it's pretty much the same set of photographs from every site. I didn't actually hit the ones at CNN, but they're literally all pulling from the same pile. That's why I didn't even bother, is because these are all shots that have been released, and you're not going to see any real, there's nothing really to see, because by the time, they're here, the gunman has already been put down. He's already been put in an ambulance. That might be the ambulance he went in, and being, transporting to the hospital. So and again, they're just giving, pictures of what's going on, family concern. And it says, now this was as of Tuesday, the police had not yet identified the shooter or revealed a motive. And to be honest with you, it's now the 15th at 7:35 p.m. and we still don't have any other information other than what you see right here. So you see the police acted very quickly. They took care of what needed to be taken care of, and then, packed up and went back home the way that it should be. So one thing that I noticed as we were going through here is, again, the majority of these articles are from the 15th. They were printed initially on the 13th, or here the 14th, the NPR. This is from the 14th. We all know who NPR is, right? The reason I keep hammering these agencies down is because I'm just trying to point out to you that I am not coming at you with an agenda. But when you hear the conclusion of what I'm going to say, you're going to say that I'm coming at you with an agenda. But I am showing you what these agencies are saying. I have not given one word of commentary. I am simply reading what they are saying, and they are telling the exact same story. Now, here's something that I found in NPR that I thought was a little odd, because this is NPR. All right, this isn't Fly By Night Industries. This isn't, in my mom's basement YouTube channel. This is NPR, and this passage right here, it says, let me pull this up to the top of the screen so I can read it. The assault in the Dallas suburb, initially triggered fears of a new tragedy coming weeks after a mass shooting at a school in, I want to make sure I'm reading it right, in Uvalde, Texas. Across the country, there has been 267 mass shootings so far this year, according to the Independent Gun Violence Archive. NPR says there have been 267 mass shootings so far this year. Guess where else this text goes out over? Can you see on my screen right here? Can you see me lighting this thing up? That's a radio station. This story is read over the air. And over the air, over NPR, they said that there have been this year 267 mass shootings so far. Does that number seem a little high to anybody else? Well, let's check the references. Wow, that's funny. That's not at all what it says. This is a gun violence archive from 2022. So let's read this. This is a reference given by NPR, not Fox News, not The Hill, not any other, not Daily Mail, Daily Wire, not Daily Mail. This is a link from NPR. And what does it say? This is Gun Violence Archive of 2022. Total number of gun deaths is 19,866. Homicide, murder, unintentional. I don't know what that is, so I'm not going to guess. 8,910. Death by suicide of a gun is 10,956 people. Nearly 11,000 of the 19,800 deaths caused by gun violence are self-inflicted. I didn't know that. I absolutely did not. I didn't know. I would have not in a million freaking years would I have guessed that these are the numbers. But this is published June 5th. This is today. This is published today. These are numbers from today. Mass shootings. This is the total number of people killed. The total number of people, not the total number of incidents. The total number of people killed is 267. From mass murders, it's 14. How do I know that these are in count as numbers? Is because you get a total. You get a grand total. If you add from the bottom to here, you get this number. So this is not 267 different events because it wouldn't account for any more than one person in each mass shooting. No, this is the total number of deaths. And then he goes on, and then it tells you, the children killed, children injured, number of teens killed and injured. Officer involved incident, 29. 29 out of 19,866. My bigger concern over the officer involved kill, I mean, I don't want to say this in a harsh way, just because this happens far more frequently, they don't kill the person. Okay. They get beat, harassed, chafed. I mean, yeah, I would never say that there are things worse than death. Sorry. Anyway, and then it gives you all the number, and feel free. Officer involved events, all these numbers are very high. They are absolutely very high. Defensive use 513, unintentional shooting 680. I thought that'd be a lot higher. And then murder and suicide. I'm not sure how that's different from the other category, but that's not the point. Again, here's the point. The point is that the NPR, you didn't see any of that, did you? Well, click that link. The words I said, I forgot to share the page. The words I said are correct. On the gun violence shooting, it is not 267 mass shootings. It is 267 killed in mass shootings. That is a massive difference, NPR. Massive. That's epic. That's not even in the freaking ballpark. That is did no one check this? Here's my concern. My concern is if someone went through and proofread this, they saw that this said 267 mass shootings and it didn't even flag with them that might be too high of a number. Well, it's because you've created a reality that's not based in facts. And so here we have an incident with this shooting in again in the Dallas area, unfortunately, in the news twice in as many weeks. But we have a completely different scenario taking place with how that it is being reported. It is being used as it's being used as a way to literally bring misinformation from major news sources. That article came out yesterday. They have had over 24 hours to have people read it, evaluate it, comment on it, all these things. No one has pointed out to them that number is wrong. Nobody went down the item because you have to sign in. Nobody in the comment section said anything like this might be a bad idea. No. Everyone just goes right along with it. I'm not sure how things like that continually happen and people not see that there is a slant that is happening that is trying to push forward a certain narrative. And unfortunately, they go kind of loose with reality sometimes. So we're going to take here, this is Fox 4, and this is, and I'm not sure exactly where this is from Duncanville. And so we're going to go to their this is their write-up of it. And what are we going to see? I'm done picking on NPR, by the way. So I've moved on. So what are we going to see is we're going to see the same thing we've seen everywhere else. There's literally not one bit of information that has changed from any one page to the next. Here's the photographs. I'm proving a point. Just give me a minute. Here's the photographs. All basically the same pictures of effectively nothing. Just, a scene where everything has been taken care of. And that's it. And this is the local news. This is the local Fox affiliate in the town where this event happened. You see minimal information on it. This was done the day of, has not been updated. So we're going to go back and I want to show you something that I've kind of been sneakingly hiding because I wanted you to know, I wanted you to see for yourself with your own eyes these articles in real time. These are not screen captures. These are not web archived pages. These are active pages and I am pulling them up as they are printed. Here is one thing that is seriously missing from each one of these articles, and the information has been readily available. They say that there is no information on the shooter, but that is a lie. That is a lie. That's not a misstatement. That is a lie, because the information has been out there, but unfortunately it doesn't fit with any, including Fox. It doesn't seem to fit with the narrative right now, because here's the thing they didn't show you. The shooter. Here's the shooter. You go to the Fox, look, you go to the Fox page. Where's the picture? Ta-da. Why is it only Fox actually has a picture of the shooter? Doesn't that seem a little odd to anyone else? And by the way, I freaking hate Fox. Okay? I haven't listened to Fox for years. I don't hate them, but I trust them as much as I trust CNN. I don't see them as being any different. It is a more conservative slant, but if you've never watched it, not to the level that you would think, and it is getting closer to where CNN is every single day. So I don't care. I know how to find information for myself. If a story comes about, I can go research it. It's not that hard. It takes usually less time to find the truth than it does to watch a news story that's going to be lying to you or not telling you the whole story. See, this is the point, is it's not the whole story, and they know it. And they know it. Does that not bother you? Does it not click something in your head that goes, wait a minute, what? Why is it that when I go over here, this blew my mind, when I go over here to NBC, as soon as this loads, let's read what they have to say. So this is NBC, and I'm going to let it fully load. Again, I have two dogs that every time I start talking decide to start running around. So we have, this is the same story. Gunman killed by police at Texas summer camp had opened fire near a classroom filled with kids. That's actually 100% correct. Every story, actually more correct than some of them. Some of the stories actually are reporting that they fired into a classroom, but I mean, that's not, again, we'll find out soon enough, but probably should not have been stated immediately without everything going on. So I want you to read this right here. It says, the unidentified man appeared to have fired twice in the Duncanville Fieldhouse, a young sports and training venue in the city of the same name, about 13 miles south of Dallas. And according to Officer Tatum, that's basically means it's Dallas. Dallas is a huge metroplex area. So they go through and they tell the, again, exact same story. And then it says, then here's more of the story. Suspect moved from room to room. And it says it appeared no one was hurt. And the suspect was shot. The suspect shot the classroom door, which is glass. Then we get to the rest of the story. And it says, I just started to pray, and that's all I could do, said the counselor. The kid's 18 years old. Now, this is the principal, I'm assuming, credited a rapid response to the others by shutting down what could have been another shooting tragedy. Again, I am with them, but they tell the story, and let me find where I'm trying to get to. I'm sorry. The dogs threw me off. All right. Here's NBC News. NBC News that has just said there's it was unidentified. Now I want you to look. Again, I'm not trying to pull any cards. I haven't moved the screen. I haven't touched anything. It says correction. They made a correction today at 11:12 a.m. Eastern Time and said a previous version of this article misstated the actions of a staff member at the Texas summer camp. Originally, the story that was being told immediately, and I heard this from not just them, but it was that the first person they interacted with actually fired back. And it turns out that actually that gunfire exchange did not happen to the best of our knowledge. Again, lots of different stories, but it doesn't. It's irrelevant because he was eventually taken out by the police. But so they make a correction today to that part of the story. Guess what part of the story they left out? Well, they didn't leave it out in this story. And nearly 1 month ago, a white gunman, motivated by hate and dressed in tactical gear, killed 10 people at a supermarket in a predominantly black neighborhood in West New York, officials said. So let me get this straight. You're going to reference a story and you're going to give the race of the gunman, but you're going to correct a story which has a gunman, but you're not going to mention his race. Why is it that you're not going to mention his race? It's like Joy Behar saying, when black people get guns. I mean, I thought I was going to fall off my chair. I'm like, I'm sorry, what'd you just say? That's pretty ignorant. Okay, that's pretty ignorant. But see, that's what I'm here. That is what I'm trying to point out, is that it is not this whole thing that is going on these days in the media. The way that things are being spun and laid out, they are telling you the story that they want you to hear, and they're giving you the pieces they want you to remember. There was an incident that happened where a gentleman driving an SUV drove into a group of people, and because of his religious affiliation, they said an SUV drove into a crowd. Well, SUVs don't drive themselves. See, the media are not only misrepresenting the totality of the facts, they're freaking liars. They're there to get your money, okay? The media's responsibility, your job as the head of ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, your job is to take your ad revenue up and put money in the shareholder's pocket. That's your fiduciary responsibility. You have to make your company make money, and they will do whatever they have to do to make that happen. And if that means telling little white lies here and there, or omitting this little bit of information here or there to make sure we push forward a narrative, then you're going, what you get is you're going to be hearing nothing but lies. If the customer, us, doesn't start holding these people accountable, why has no one, that NPR article, the NPR article saying that there have been 267 mass shootings this year alone, and then citing a reference tool that contradicted their statement, and they had updated the article and had made no correction whatsoever. Why? Why does it not matter that you're telling something that's so wrong? Well, it doesn't matter because you're trying to push a narrative, and the narrative doesn't back up the facts. And I do want to say, before anybody throws a freaking dying fit, before anybody throws a fit about this, I am not a member of the NPR, of the NRA. See how you didn't even say it right. Okay? I don't think that 18-year-olds need to have AR-15s or any kind of semi-automatic weapon. I've met 18-year-olds and I've worked with them, and I could tell you for a freaking fact they have no business whatsoever. They have no business whatsoever. They have no business whatsoever having a gun in their hand. That should never happen. Absolutely not for any reason. So that is something that I want to let you know, that because that is what the immediate response is going to be to a lot of people, is that, oh gosh, well, yeah, you think no, I don't think everybody should have guns. I think it should be like being a police officer. It should be a harder thing to do than what it is. That's what I think. I think there has to be a level of responsibility for everyone involved. That's what I think. I agree with Matthew. I agree. I too was raised on BB guns. I too was raised on small firearms, and I understand and respect them. And I also understand how the modern 18 to 21-year-old male, because that's who does this kind of stuff, I understand their mindset. It's not stable. They're emotional, hormonal messes. They're not you. They're not you. They're not me. They're not my brother. They're not my. They're none of that. You have to take each person on an individual basis, and that's how that needs to be doled out. Yeah. And maybe we need to reconsider how old you can be before you even join the military. Maybe, I mean, not that that should be any harder to get into. I mean, but we don't have many problems in the military. Isn't that weird? Maybe the military is doing something to those 18-year-olds, or maybe the military attracts an 18-year-old that understands what a firearm is and how to handle it. Responsibility is a big deal, and it's something we probably all should figure out. So, all right, guys, listen, thanks for stopping in. I do, and by the way, that was my dog. That's my female, and I can't even reach her from this chair. But because she is like my lap dog, she hates it when I correct her. So anything, any kind of disapproval is like awful. Her brother was laughing, just in case you're wondering. He was like, ooh, yeah. They just are a little rambunctious. So one of these days, I'm actually going to get them on here and let you guys take a look at them because they are really, they're actually good dogs. They do get super hyper, and it's kind of hot in here right now because I had to turn the AC off. But they just were wanting to run around, and they were just running around on my feet. And so I just kind of had to get her attention. I really didn't mean to even make contact with her, but she's looking at me right now. And I wish you could see it because she has just the most beautiful blue eyes. She's a Beagle Husky mix, and she has husky eyes. So, and she's like a white beagle. I don't know what you call that. I'm not very smart on dogs. So anyhow, listen, folks, I'm sorry. It is like 95 degrees outside. I've had to turn my AC off to do this video, and I am sweating, flipping bullets, as you can see. Oh, mercy. What's it called? No, I don't want to say that's what girls are. Boys sweat and girls glisten. There we go. All right, if you guys ever have a comment, question, or anything like that, please feel free to leave it. If you're watching live, always in the chat, on the rebroadcast, in the comments down below. And if this is content that you enjoy, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Helps get me out in front of more people and helps the channel grow. So, all right, guys, and I will end this one off as I have been for the last couple of episodes. What are you willing to stand up for? You know, in my day, I'm 53. In my day, it was a proper thing for a man to have a backbone. And this is something I was taught as a young man growing up, and I've taught it to my boys as well. If you won't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Make sure you stand for something worth standing for. All right, guys, love you, and I will see y'all next time.